Welcome to the tunnel project. We're going to get started here with part 1, and I'm going to do that by bringing in a circle. I'm going to leave the default values of 32 and rotate X 90. And what I'm going to want to do is cut off the bottom of this. I'm going to take this and pull it up just a little bit. I'm going to select these two vertices and ESX. I'm going to pull these in so it sort of looks like a mushroom, and the track's going to go down in the middle here. Let's press extrude and bring that down. We'll start with that shape. I'm going to extrude it back a little bit on the y-axis, just like that, maybe a little bit longer. And so this is going to be the concrete sort of a section with pipes and stuff, and I'll have some other stuff here, and then this round section. Now, what I'll be doing initially, let's put on the cavity shader first. What we'll be doing is arraying this. So let's array this in the Y1 and zero this out. And I'll probably do this for about 5 segments long. So the tunnel will be like that. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to separate out this part. Actually, before I do that, let's come in here and let's cut off this side of it. And then add a mirror. And I'll turn on clipping. So we will have that. So now what I can do is I can shut off the mirror, I can shut off the array, and just, work on this section here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to separate this out, P and break it out. And I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to bevel it by hand just a little bit. There's 2. I want one more, just a small bevel on that. And let's bring back this stuff here. So I've got that. And this piece here. So I've got that separated. Now, this stuff is probably all flipped. So let's have a look at that. And it is. So we'll come in here, Alt-N and flip. And this, Alt-N and flip. So everything's facing the right way. Next thing I'm going to do is I want to make a floor. And so I'm going to select this edge. And I'm going to Shift D to duplicate it. I'll pull it out, P to break it out, and I'm going to turn on snap to edge and just bring it back and snap it there. And I'm going to get rid of the mirror on this, and I'm going to extrude it over and snap it to there. Now I do have it arrayed, and I may not do that in the end once I know how long it is because of the way I want to texture this, but I'm not sure. So we have that. Let's double check that that's facing the right way. It's not, so we'll just flip that. Okay, so far so good. Let's build the track now by selecting this edge of the floor, Shift D to duplicate, pull it up, scale it in a bit, P to separate it out, and I'm going to make sure I don't have the array on that. So this is going to be the piece of wood, so I want to get the width that I want. Let's work on this here. Say we do that for the moment and we extrude it down. I'm going to get rid of that bottom face. Take the whole thing and snap like that. And I want a little bit of room on the side for some stuff, but I think I'm going to make that a little bit wider. We could start with that. And I'm going to bevel this as well. I'm going to select the edges like this. And we'll come in here, we'll give this a bevel. I'll just use 3 and I'll select the top and bevel that. So that could be our piece of wood. Whether it's thick enough, I don't really know. Yeah, okay. So imagine that this, and just for the moment, I'm going to array this down in the Y. And imagine we had a whole bunch of those going down. Just enough room for the other stuff. I think maybe a little bit narrower. Okay, we'll start with that. And now let's build the rails themselves. Okay, just before I do that, I'm just going to turn this on like that. I'll bring this stuff up. And just make sure you're facing the right way. Okay. So let's build the rails. Let's bring in a new plane. Scale it down and up, and we'll get the shape of this thing going. Scale in the X, I'm going to bring it over to the side of the 3D cursor because I'll be mirroring this very soon. Let's start with that, like that. Okay, so I'm going to extrude down a little bit. And now I'm going to E and SX, and I'm going to pull it in. Maybe about that much for now. Extrude down. I think that's going to be a little bit wide, so I'm going to Control plus. I'm going to scale in the X. Okay, I'm going to grab down here, this face here. E and SX, I'll come out like that. E and I'll come down. I'm going to get rid of that bottom face. And now let's have a look at this. Let's make this a little narrower. Scale in the X. We'll do it sort of like that. So now I'm going to get rid of some faces and some edges here. Those faces, I'm going to come on the inside here. I can see those through. Those faces. And now I press 2 for edge selection and edges. And I probably have to go again. Edges. And then on the other side. Get rid of edges, and one more time, edges. Okay, so that's my general piece. I can always adjust this. In fact, I may, well, no. Let's just go ahead and bevel this. I'm going to grab all those 3 sharp edges and those 3 sharp edges, and I'm going to bevel that. I'll just use 3, so we've got 2, 3, there we go. And I'm also going to bevel this under one and that one, this one, and that one there. Bevel that as well. Okay, I'll try a shade smooth. So let's take this and bring it down. And that's okay. Now, let's see. If I take this and just extrude it down to the end, let's just pull it and snap to there by holding Control. I'll have this. Let's move this over a little bit and put the mirror on and just see what it's starting to look like. Okay. So let's see. Let's increase that for now. And imagine the train coming down there. Now I need some room on the side to do something, but I think I can push them just to there, maybe. Okay, let's leave it like that for now. All this can be adjusted. And we won't see the end because when I render this, I'll be like, you know, there kind of thing. All right. All right. Anyhow, okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to shut off the array for that. And let's see what I want to do here. I'm just going to select there, and I'm going to bring in another plane. I'm going to make the attachments that hold this piece down onto the wood. Let's use the period key to focus on that. So pull that up, pull that over, and I'm going to look in wireframe. So I want that there. And I'm going to box select these vertices and pull them over. I think I'm going to go a little bit higher. Box select these. Pull them down like that, and then out. And I want this side to be longish, like that. And you'll see why in a minute. Okay, I'm going to take that and make it a little narrower. Scale that in the Y. And let's try this. Let's add solidify to this. And let's just see which way we want to come in. Okay, I'll put on even thickness and I'll reduce the thickness of that. Something like that. Okay. So let's go with that in object mode. Go with that. And then come in and bevel this. So Shift Alt to click those edges and Control B to bevel. I'll just use 3. Now I'm going to focus on just that. And just before I do, I'm going to make it a little bit narrower, like that. Okay, take all these vertical pieces, so that one, hold down Shift and get that one, hold down Shift again for that one and that one, and we'll bevel those, Control B with 3, and then Shift Alt and click there, and I'm going to press Control, and that will allow me to bring the selection further along. And just make sure you get everything. And I'm going to do that to the bottom as well. You just want to make sure you get everything selected because we're going to bevel this. I think I've got it. And I'm going to look right about here, Control B and pull. Just like that. I can shade smooth. We may have some shading errors, as you can see, but we'll fix that in a bit. So if that piece is there, what I'm going to do is, let's take this right now, actually. I'll look in wireframe. Shift D, rotate Z 180. We're going to push one over to this side, but I'm going to take this and I'm going to have it shorter, maybe about half the distance, and just to create some visual interest. We'll have different stuff on different sides. All right, so right now, select there, Shift S, cursor to selected, and I'm going to bring in a circle, and I will use 16 or 18 vertices. You don't want too many. Have to make a face, bring that over. We're going to make a nail-like structure that comes into here. So I'm going to extrude down, and then I'm going to, this is getting closer, eye to inset, pull in like that, extrude down a little further, get rid of that face, take the whole thing and just pull it up a little bit. Okay, Shift Alt and click that edge and that edge, Control B, pull, and I can shade smooth. It doesn't really matter, I'm going to be joining stuff in a minute. I just want to make sure, yeah, we're going through. Okay, good. So let's look from the top now, and I want 3 nails. So I'm going to Shift D to duplicate and just pull it out. It doesn't have to be exact. So it's going to be like that. Now before I join these, I'm going to take one of them, and I'm going to bring it over to the other side. And I'm going to push it down just a little bit. And I'm going to select that one still, and I'm going to bring my 3D cursor there. And now we'll bring in a circle, but we'll make it 6 vertices. We'll make like a hexagonal bolt on this side. I have to make a face, and we'll just go around there, extrude down to there, but delete that bottom face. Select it all, and in edge selection, just Control B and pull with those 3. And that's good enough. I'm going to take that and that. And I'm not going to take that and that. No, this part here needs to be pushed in, doesn't it? So I'm going to push that in like that. And then I can have a look at this. I can, let's do it with the, okay, let's, to make this easier, let's P to separate that out so I can select that and just move those along like that. And that's how that's going to go. And I don't care if it's a little bit large, you know, so a bit cartoony. So let me just look at this. Looks good. And this stuff. Control J. We're going to join that. And I'm going to Shift C. And that's going to bring my 3D cursor right back to the middle. And with that there, I can mirror that over to the other side as well. If everything goes well. Something's funny. So let's set the origin of the 3D cursor. Yeah, that moved it into position. That's better. So that is going to be attached to that. I'm going to get rid of that array, and I'm going to take this, and I'm going to join that. Nope, I need to apply the mirror first. Let's do that. Don't forget to do that. I'm going to join that. And it might as well come in here and merge by distance just in case, and double check that we're facing the right way. Not that yet. We will be looking at that. Okay, these guys are flipped. So let's do that. Everything else looks okay. All right, I can have a look at that actually, because that's going to become important in just a moment. Now, I may take this. Do I want it any thinner? Scale. No, I can't do that. I just want Control L, just a piece of wood. Scale that in a Y. It doesn't really matter. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it. Okay. Now, here's the thing. If I put that array back on and make it come out in the Y, 0 there, just watch my statistics there. Let's hide that. If I start upping this, and I want to get all the way down to the end, that's going to use a huge amount. Look at that. Just to get there, I'm already you know, over 100,000 just to do that. Okay. So we're going to do something here. We're going to get rid of that array. And I'm going to bring in a plane, scale it down like that. Bring this up to about there. That's okay. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to click on this second and Control P, and I'm going to set the parent to object. And with that one selected, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to choose instancing to faces. Now that's moved that just a little bit. All right. So what I want to do is take this one. I'm just going to hide that. This I can now array. So let's move this back down into position. If I now take this and I put on the array modifier in the Y, like this, zero this out, get a decent distance, but take this and hide this in the viewport and in the render, all right? I can now array these instances and I don't increase my polys. This does mean that if I texture this in Substance Painter or whatever, you know, they're all going to have the same texture. So if there's, you know, deformations or something strange in the texturing, it'll show up on every one. But I mean, I haven't increased my polys, and that's the whole idea really of that. All right, let's take this, by the way, and let's add weighted normal and normal's auto smooth and see if that cleans it up in any way. Nah, it didn't really, but I'll leave that on anyhow. And I just want to do a couple of more things here for you. I'm going to switch over to a matte cap. I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to turn on shadows as well. Alrighty, what I'd like to do is come in here and grab that. I'm going to make a pipe. So I'm going to Shift D to duplicate, pull it out a bit, P to break it out. But I'm going to take this, and it'll have the modifiers. I'm going to get rid of those. I don't need any of those modifiers for now. And I'm going to take this and I want to convert this to a curve. And in the curve dialog box, under geometry, I want to increase the size of that. I'll shade smooth. And I'm going to look from the front and in wireframe so I can see this. All right, there it is. And let's make that a little bit bigger. This is going to be like one of the main sort of pipes. We'll have a few different ones in there. So let's use what I said I was going to do. Let's shut off the array and let's shut off the mirror for that. Might want it a little bit bigger. And that's okay like that, I think. I'll just rest it there. And what I'm going to be doing is putting some equipment along here that I will array down. And so I'm going to go ahead and put 3 for the resolution of this pipe and convert this to a mesh. We'll just do a little bit more here. I'm going to drag an edge loop down to around there. Control B to bevel and pull. I just want 2. I want it like that. And with that done, I'm going to press E and Alt S and I'm going to push to bring it out to make a section like that. And then I'm going to bevel these edges here, Control B, and I want 3. And I'm going to grab that edge because I know I'm going to need some more supporting loops in here. So I'm going to bevel there as well. And that's going to fix the shading as well. And this, I'm going to select right there, Shift S, cursor to selected. I'm going to bring in a circle. And I'm going to use 16 vertices. And I'm going to make like a little valve or a little end to another pipe. I'm going to rotate Y90. Push that in, extrude this out a little bit. I'll recalculate outside. Let's see how that looks. It looks okay there. I'm going to bevel this back just with 3. I just want to take it out and make sure I don't have another end on it. Do I? Yes, I do. So let's get rid of that face. And let's push that in like that. Something like that. Okay. Let's shade smooth. I'm going to be joining that to there. And to give you an idea where we're going, I'm going to select here, Shift S, cursor to selected. I want to make a pipe, a different pipe, a bent pipe. I'm bringing in a plane, and I'm going to merge at center. That's going to give me that my one vertex, and I'm going to extrude out. So there's a little bit of a line there. Look from the front and go into wireframe. All right, so it comes out. It's going to be above the concrete here. I'm going to extrude down just a little ways. I don't know how far, and I'm just going to do that. I want to bevel that. Shift Control B. 3 vertices, 4, 5. All right, convert to curve and increase the depth like that. Don't have it larger than this. Just make it the size that you want it to be. I can always change the size of that other thing. So something like that might be a bit big for what I am envisioning. So I think I will come back in here. You can do all kinds of things. You could take that and you could inset it a little bit, and then you could extrude out a bit more, bevel it back, put maybe one more edge loop down there, you know, just to do something different. Then that looks okay. You can even put bolts on the side of that. So that would be there. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this and this and this. Now this one's a curve, right? So before I do that, I'm going to put the resolution at 3 and convert to mesh, and I'm going to join those, and I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to join it to there as well. So now it's propagated along. Let's just have a look at this stuff, everybody. And the mirror's on, and you can see where we're going. I'll do one more quick thing, and then we'll leave it at that. On this here, let's go to wireframe, bring my 3D cursor right there. Oops. And we'll start by making a little something here. Rotate Y 90. I'm going to pull this down. Let's scale that in the Y a little bit. Maybe not quite so long. And we'll just see. I'm going to bring this behind, not necessarily on the wall, maybe. I don't know. Bring it out to something like that. Okay, I actually will make it a little bit longer now. Now that I think about it, I'm going to grab these edges, and we're going to bevel these edges. I almost never use the bevel modifier. Once in a while. Control B. I'm going to actually go for 5, and I'm going to bevel this. I could probably get away with 3. No, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do that there, but I'm going to bevel this one normally with 3. All right, this will need some supporting edges. So let's drop those in like that. Let's shade smooth. We'll need a bit more. And what we're going to do is we're going to eye to inset anyhow. I'm going to come in like that. And yeah, where am I? Actually, let's take this and GG edge slide it up to there. Okay, we'll also put a split in this so it looks a little bit more like a panel. So drag an edge loop there and Control B and make it just 2, something like that. E and Alt S and pull. So it comes down in and grab those edges and bevel them, but with 3. And I may come in here and put some other edges, just slide them in, fix the shading up like that. So we've got that going on, and maybe I'll pull it out from the wall like that. I envisioned as, I'll bring my 3D cursor right there, like a hydrometer type thing. I'm going to use a cylinder. I'll go for 22. You'll see what I'm getting at. Very, very simple, but maybe like this. And I'll just bring this in. We'll have that part, and then we'll inset, come in like that, come out, and then we'll bevel back, not too much, and then we'll bevel. Kind of feel like it's a bit long. Where does my cylinder go to? Well, it goes to there. Okay, so let's start bringing that out. Like, I want it more like that. I'm going to get rid of that, so we'll take the whole thing and then push it in. And we'll bevel this edge here. It should be good enough, but I might need another one down here. You see what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Okay, I'm going to take that and I'm going to join that. So that will be eventually propagated along once we do a little bit more on this. The only thing is, I think I'm going to take this rectangle, Control L, scale in the wides, want it a bit narrower. Not important, but I'm just going to put a label on here. I don't need to do it this way. I'm going to bring in a plane, and I think once we do this one, we'll wrap it up for now, and we can put more detail on this stuff. Scale in the Z and scale in the Y. Okay, I'll pull that out a little bit and I'll extrude it back, get rid of that back face. We need to flip it and then bevel all this stuff by hand. Manually, by hand, whatever, however you want to say that. All right, we're almost done here. Grab that edge, nope, that edge, and that edge. We'll bevel this, just 3 is fine. Top bevel with 3 is fine. And push it in a little bit so it's there. Take that and join it. So that stuff is all joined. And then we'll come in here and we'll take this circle, Shift D, scale it down. And I'm going to look from the side. I'll go in wireframe, and like for bolts, screws or bolts, whatever. I always call them bolts, don't I? Extrude that back and get rid of that face. Actually, I'm in the other model, so I'm going to break it out. It's a little bit easier. Grab that face and bevel it. Flip this. Flip those polys. Push that on. 3 and in wireframe. And I'm just going to do this by eye. I will duplicate it over to here. A to select them. Duplicate them down here. Okay, take those and join them. And we are going to join this to this. Control J. Now it'll be propagated along. The only thing is, I don't like the connection of a pipe just willy-nilly to there, and so what I'll do is I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to take something here, something round like that. Shift D to duplicate. Actually, I could have done it an easier way. I'll do it the easier way. I take it back. I'm going to select that right there. Shift D to duplicate, scale it out, P to break it out. It'll have the modifiers on there. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to scale it in the Z, bring it up, scale Z 0. We'll fill that in there and we'll bevel that. And now we have a nicer connection. And let's just join that to the whole gang. And we're at 30,000, and this is what we have so far. Okay, and that's what we get. All right, so we're going to do lots more stuff on the side, and eventually we're going to work on the train. So hope you come back for the next video.